We all do it. It's a daily thing in our lives. Some people do it more than others, but when it comes down to it, we can't avoid it. Everybody throws away trash. Michigan can't get enough of it. But just how much trash does Michigan have? And where do we go to get the truth about our trash? Last year, Michigan accepted over 16 million tons of trash from Canada and from other states around the nation, accounting for more than 30% of all the trash in Michigan's landfills. In 2004, Governor Jennifer Granholm signed an 11-page bill to try and reduce the amount of trash that Michigan accepts. But according to the report of solid waste landfills, it wasn't enough and things just haven't changed. But Michigan's problem isn't just the amount of trash it takes, but the 1,100 illegal dump sites on public land across the state. So if we as Michiganders can't learn to accept our state, then how can we expect other states to do the same thing?
Trash. It's the accumulation of things we don't want anymore. Wrappers, food and clothing, breaking down and filling our landfills. But what about all the trash filling our forests? To answer that, we went to Lansing, Michigan, to speak with Jim Hunt, an environmental volunteer from the Motorcycle Club.
As you can see over here, this is probably similar to a lot of your trash sites. You'll have a large TV that was probably very, very hard for them to dispose of. A lot of times you'll have smaller little sets like this, which I think a lot of those they could probably talk to the dumpster company and they would probably pick those up. You go into a larger item like this, like a couch. A lot of them I realize are probably hard to dispose of. I believe they could probably break them down in some manner and dispose of them that way. Or they should just take them to a regular recycled dumping place and probably get rid of them. But a cost factor is, if they're high, I realize it's very hard to some people to afford that. You also have a lot of tires that they can charge probably up to $5 a tire, and people just will not spend that. And they end up out here, and as you see, it's an eyesore. I mean, it's just a place for more leaves to collect, but I still don't like walking through the woods and have to run across them.
We then traveled north to Roscommon, Michigan, where we met Ada Takis from the Department of Natural Resources, who runs the Adopt a Forest program, to answer our questions about how this issue is affecting us.
There's many things that can happen when people illegally dump trash on public land, other than the aesthetics. For example, you're driving by and you have to look at a big old pile of stuff. Oftentimes there will be items in the trash that can leach into the ground. For example, if someone dumps their used oil, motor oil, even if it's in a container, the container is exposed to the elements, it rains, and all kinds of stuff happens, and then it opens up the container, or it spills over, an animal knocks it over, and then the oil dumps out onto the ground, and then of course that oil has the potential to contaminate the groundwater. When we dump out in the woods, we're not only affecting animal habitat and the way that people look at the land, but we're also affecting things that we can't see. Then it also affects the taxpayers. I mean, this stuff is not free to get rid of once people dump in the woods. So while the program is based on volunteerism, the stuff has to be disposed of, and there's a cost associated with that, and that comes directly out of taxpayers' pockets if we can't get the space at the landfill donated, or if volunteer groups aren't disposing of it and paying for it. And even if they are, it's a cost to them, so there's a cost associated with it. And oftentimes it's out of sight, out of mind, so people dump their stuff and they never think about it again.
While in Roscommon, we spoke with Craig Graham, a lieutenant with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Law Enforcement Division, about what's being done to prevent these illegal dumpings from happening in our forests.
Littering penalties range up to $10,000 in fines and cost, and up to 5 years in jail. So it can be quite costly to try to save a few dollars and dump your trash on public lands. Residents need to be cognizant when they're cleaning up their recreational properties of fly-by-night operators that give you a very good deal on hauling away your trash, because very often that's exactly who's dumping this stuff on state land. And you, as the property owner, may be contributing to it because you just don't realize that they're undercutting a legitimate business that's paying the proper fees and dumping it in a licensed landfill.
During the course of this report, one thing is clear. Michigan's trash problem, rather than being external, is internal, starting with you and me. You know, we're constantly throwing away trash. It's impossible to avoid it. But as Michiganders, it's our duty and responsibility to keep our land clean and trash-free. But time is money, and attacking this issue isn't going to be cheap. But for the time being, we can make a difference by reporting these illegal dump sites and volunteering to clean them up. Because once we learn to respect our land, others are going to follow suit. For now, I'm Chris Boyer, and thanks for joining us on another Environmental Short about Michigan.